You know, we've all heard those stories of legendary cities lost to time, places like Atlantis or El Dorado. But what if one of those legends actually turned out to be true? Today, we're going deep, deep underwater into the story of Thonis-Heracleion, a city that was just a whisper in old books before becoming one of the most mind-blowing archaeological finds ever.
So our story really kicks off more than 2,000 years ago with the Greek historian Herodotus. He wrote about this incredible city, this main gateway into Egypt, a place so legendary that the hero Heracles himself was said to have visited. For centuries, a line like this was pretty much all we had, just a single clue.
Which really begs the question, right? How do you even begin to find a ghost? A whole city that was swallowed by the sea and then basically wiped from human memory. Let's get into it.
For something like 1,200 years, Thonis-Heracleion wasn't even a memory. It was just a couple of scattered mentions in ancient texts. It was like a giant historical puzzle, but with almost all the pieces missing, buried somewhere at the bottom of the Mediterranean.
So what exactly was this place? Well, before Alexandria became, the big superstar of the ancient world, Thonis-Heracleion was the spot. It was the main port, the customs office, the #1 trading hub. If you were sailing from Greece to Egypt, this was your first stop. We're talking about a city of incredible wealth and huge religious significance.
And the city's story, its rise and fall, is just epic. It was founded way back in the 8th century BCE, and it flourished for more than 1,000 years. But then, around the 8th century CE, after a bunch of natural disasters, the ground it was built on literally turned to liquid, and the entire city just slid into the sea, taking all its secrets with it.
And that brings us to the modern era. I mean, where do you even start looking for something so completely lost? It's one thing to go dig up a known ruin like Pompeii, we know where that is, but it's a whole different ballgame to find a city that has completely vanished from every map.
Well, enter Frank Gaudio. He's a French underwater archaeologist who decided to take on this monumental task. And the challenges he faced were just immense. He had no map, just some vague descriptions from old texts. The search area in Aboukir Bay was huge, and the water was so murky with sediment from the Nile that visibility was basically zero. It was, for all intents and purposes, an impossible mission.
So for years, Gaudio and his team are out there just surveying the seabed. They're using all this sophisticated equipment to try and peer through the mud in the darkness. What they're looking for are anomalies, anything that just doesn't look natural, and just hoping for that one big breakthrough.
And then it happened. In the year 2000, after all that painstaking work, his team found it. They'd located the lost city. A myth that people had been whispering about for centuries was all of a sudden real.
Now, this is really cool. The discovery also solved a huge historical mystery. You see, ancient texts mentioned a Greek city named Heracleion and an Egyptian city named Thonis, and historians always wondered, were these two different places? Well, inscriptions found right there on the seabed finally proved it. They were just two different names for the exact same magnificent city.
But finding the city, that was just a beginning. The next chapter was all about uncovering its secrets, piece by incredible piece, from the bottom of the sea. And what they found, well, it was absolutely breathtaking.
Just try to imagine what the divers saw first. Looming out of that murky water, a colossal statue of a pharaoh, over 5 meters, that's more than 16 feet tall, and it was perfectly preserved. This wasn't just some artifact, it was a giant monument. Then they found another one nearby, a statue of a queen. Together, they once stood guard at the entrance to the city's grand temple.
And if you want a real sense of the scale of this place, get this. The team has found over 700 ancient anchors. 700. Every single one of those represents a ship that once docked right here. This wasn't some quiet little port. This was a bustling international hub. It just shows you the sheer volume of trade that was happening.
And hey, where you have that many ships and that much trade, you're going to have shipwrecks. They've found more than 60 of them so far, dating from between the 6th and 2nd centuries BCE. Each one is like a perfect little time capsule, giving us these incredible insights into ancient shipbuilding and the massive economic network that connected Greece and Egypt.
And it wasn't just the huge monuments. A literal treasure trove of other artifacts came to the surface. We're talking gold coins, beautiful jewelry, everyday pottery, and even the ceremonial tools they used in the temples. All these pieces together are what help us build this really vivid picture of what daily life was like in Thonis-Heracleion.
The city itself was just an engineering marvel. At its very heart was the Grand Temple of Amun, and from there, a whole network of canals crisscrossed the city, acting like streets, connecting all the different islands and leading straight into these massive port basins. The whole system was designed to be super efficient for moving goods and people. It was the blueprint for an economic powerhouse.
So why does all of this matter? I mean, this discovery is about so much more than just finding cool old objects. It's about resurrecting an entire chapter of human history that we all thought was lost forever.
At the end of the day, we've gone from a few fleeting lines written by guys like Herodotus to a tangible, mapped-out world. We can now study its economy, its religion, its daily life. And in doing that, we're literally rewriting our understanding of just how connected the ancient world truly was. And it's all thanks to the relentless pursuit of a legend.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a city as grand and important as Thonis-Heracleion could be completely lost and then found again, what else is out there? What other secrets from our ancient past are still just waiting right beneath the surface for someone to come and find them?